Alright, so here's a little different project that I'm going to do. So I took that Alice Chalmers WD-45 apart a couple weeks ago, and I was left with a really crappy crankshaft. You can see all the damage on this crankshaft right here. And so I got to looking at it, I got to thinking about it. It's like, you know, I really want to do something with it. Obviously you don't want to sell it to anybody because it's just junk. So for those of you that watch Squatch 253, they recently, him and his dad, I think his dad came up with the idea to use a crankshaft to support the front of a milling table, or front of a milling machine that they were rebuilding, which is really cool. Old Caterpillar D2, I think it was a D2 crankshaft. Well, gave me an idea, why can't I make a floor lamp out of a crankshaft? So what I did, and I didn't get any of this on film because I've been working on this the last couple days for 15-20 minutes at a time. My welding skills suck at best, and frankly, you know, it takes me longer to get set up and stare with my mouth open than it does to try to explain something. But I think I'm to the point now where I can actually explain what I'm doing here. So I have this crankshaft. This is the WD-45 crankshaft. I had this flywheel from a 3TN66 UJ engine, Yanmar diesel engine. So that is the 16 horsepower engine that would be in the 332 or some of the Gators. This is actually from that Gator I had a couple of years ago, for those of you that follow along with the channel. Flywheel is basically worthless. I thought about using the Alice flywheel, but it's still good, so I can get some money out of it. So I decided, okay, well, I'll use the flywheel as a base. My first thought was, okay, I'll just bolt the flange of the crankshaft to the flywheel, and decided, I got to looking at it, and I really just didn't like that idea. I came up with a couple different ones, because obviously the flywheel is, I think it's cast. It might be just straight steel, but I think it's cast. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just steel. I don't know how to tell the difference. I don't know anything about this. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. So don't take me as expert on anything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try to weld it. So that's what I did. Got the flywheel mostly centered on the, or got the crankshaft mostly centered on the flywheel. I think I did pretty good on centering. It's probably as good as it's going to get for me without some more precise tools and a little bit more patience on my end. And so what I did is I went around to these 4 tabs right here and went ahead and welded them in. You know, I don't think for flux core welding, that I think this was the last one I did, I don't think it looks half bad. You know, I've got some other problems in here where I'm going back in and trying to weld a little bit deeper. I think this was the first one I did, which is clearly I don't have a lot of penetration on the tab right there. But I think, you know, for not picking up a welder in probably 2 years and just going straight into it, I think it was okay. Certainly functional from my perspective. Got a lot to learn, but you know, you learn by doing. So this is going to be the base of my lamp, and I'm going to go ahead. I know it's not going to stay in the buckets. I've just got the buckets, I've got the kitty litter buckets there so I can stand it up so you can actually see what's going to happen. I'm going to put it on a wooden base. The reason, originally I wanted the ring gear on this side to reduce the damage to the floor, but the other side had some ridges in it, and my lathe is, the chuck on the lathe is not big enough for me to put that flywheel in there and face the ridges out on the other side. So didn't have that option. So that's why I used this side and put the flywheel ring down. And plus the lathe is currently broken because the VFD, the same that took out the washing machine, took out the VFD on the lathe. So I'm going to take this. This is going to go on a piece of wood. I don't know what kind of wood yet. There's a good chance that it'll just be something really super simple. And what I'm going to do to run power, it's going to just be a big floor lamp. To run power, I'm probably going to come on this back side here. We're going to run a, so on the base of the board, I went to a couple different stores today. So I've got this flange bearing here, floor bearing, whatever, bearing, good grief. Flange fitting, floor fitting. for floor flange. There we go. So it's a 3/4 inch floor flange. I'm going to put that on the piece of wood, drill out the hole. That's what the wire's going to go through it. There's my plug. And then I've got a hold on, 3/4 to 1/2 inch. So my 3/4 to 1/2 inch is going to go in there, and then I'm going to come up 30 inches. So I've got one 30-inch piece of, unfortunately I couldn't find any black iron pipe, so I'm going to do this in some galvanized, some black iron, which I think will look fine in the end, because I'm going to clear coat it all, try to get the numbers and lettering off. So the 30 inches should, if I did my math right, if it fits on the flange like this, you can see I've just about got it right height-wise, because what I'm going to do, sorry moving the camera around so much, is I'm going to take my elbow here, put the flange, or put that 30-inch pipe coming up, it's going to run into this elbow, and then I went and got me this is a 7-inch, I believe a 7-inch nipple, which should get me approximately to the center of the, basically I'll be able to move it back a little bit when I mount it, but I'm going to get to the center right there, and I'm going to take a T, where's my T at? This T right here. I'm going to take this T and I'm going to try to get the height to where this fits or sits down on the crankshaft like that, and I'll show you all this as I go. Sits down on the crankshaft like that, and then the 36-inch galvanized pipe will actually go straight up 36 inches, so the lamp will have a total height of somewhere around, I'm guessing, approximately 70 inches by the time we get the fittings and everything else on there, and it will come up to a T, and the T will stop. So basically we can envision this, the T is going to come up, and then out from each T, and I may need to get a close nipple or something to do this. Let's see here, how do I want to do this? Yeah, I actually need to go back to the store, and yeah, I need my close nipple because I've got to take those. No, okay, I'll get this figured out here in just a second. Where am I? I'm missing some parts here. They might be in the back of my truck. So basically we're going to come 90 degrees up, and I've got all my bushings set because these are 1.25 inch galvanized fittings, and these light sockets are going to sit down in these fittings like so, and basically I've still got to figure out where I want to put the switch. Most likely the switch will be in the middle between the two. I'm just going to drill out the top here, and the switch will be in the top. And I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'm really confused on where my 90 degree fittings are. Anyway, so basically it's going to be a 2 lighted lamp. So what I'm going to do is I ran out of my flux core wire because I haven't graduated to gas shield welding yet. And I'm going to come in here and finish this weld right here, and I'll probably touch up some of these areas. Basically what I was trying to do last night, I was kind of taking my time, trying not to get this flywheel too hot. Because I mean, that's a lot of metal right there. And I'm going to come in here and finish this, and then we can start. I might go ahead and start building some of the lamp support to figure out how I want to do it. I got to come in here with a wire wheel, clean all this up. I might go ahead and grind this end down right here, I think, but we'll see. I kind of making this up as I go. I might actually have, now that I'm thinking about it, I might actually have out in the other building, I have some close brass fittings that I might be able to use for my out to my double lamp up at the top. So let me get to work on this. I'll set the camera up when I go to weld, that way everybody can critique my terrible welding habits. So stay tuned. All right, I'm gonna clean up a couple little areas. I'm leaving it up here just because I'm sure somebody's going to say, that's not safe. Oh well. I want to fill in this area on either, well, I've already got this side. I want to fill in this area right in there next to that tab. So, do that. Looks terrible, but I got the job done. And you have to realize that I'm just using a 120 volt welder, so I don't necessarily have the power that a 220 volt welder is going to have. Now that I have the appropriate amount of power in the shop with the 200 amp service, I can actually get a 220 welder now. I just got to find one and find it at a price I like. So, but I mean, I don't think that looks terrible. There's very little penetration on the cast itself, but I don't think I'm going to be able to with my little Hobart 140. I just don't think I'm going to be able to weld something that big. So, if you ever wanted to try welding, seriously, go. You can pick up a cheap welder at Harbor Freight and try to glue two pieces of metal together. You don't know until you try it. I actually do like it. I'm terrible at it, but you know, you only get better by trying. So, I think now I'm going to try to build my lamp frame, and we will go from there to see exactly what I might need in terms of piece of wood, things along those lines. And by building my lamp frame, I think that'll answer some of those questions. So we'll do that, and I'll cut the video off here. I'll get this back down on the ground, and we'll work on the lamp frame. Let's put our dear DeWalt 20 volt brushless angle grinder to the test. I've decided I'm just gonna go ahead and take off this end right here. Can't really chuck this up in the lathe, like I said, and plus my lathe wouldn't handle something like this. So we're just gonna grind off this end right here. Alright, I think that's it for that battery. We'll go get another one. This should be a little bit better. I just thought about it. Some of y'all were probably wondering why on earth I didn't use a cutoff disc first. Mostly because I wanted to practice grinding. really happy with that. Not much of a ridge at all. Got a little lower on this side when I first came in, but there doesn't seem to be much of a ridge. A little bit of grinding and we should be good to go. Alright, got that done. Hit the rust. All good. Like that in? I think I do. Alright, so now it's down to building the lamp. Whew, won't be so hot. Alright, so here's where we are at so far. I don't have a whole lot of time on the SD card left. So we've got our flange down, our floor flange down there at the bottom. It's coming up, goes to that reducer bushing. The reason I went with that reducer bushing is their half-inch floor flange wasn't in stock anywhere in town, and you know, I actually had some of this stuff. So you got 30-inch pipe, the galvanized pipe, you got your black iron 90-degree elbow, you got your 7-inch. So then you got your half-inch T here. What I've done is right now I've just got a piece of copper in there as a placeholder, because ultimately what I'll do is I'll get another piece of this galvanized, or I may get another piece of brass or copper and go ahead and threaded brass or threaded copper, and I think those are either brass or copper. I'm pretty sure they're brass, but well, this will, whenever the finished height will be right here is how long I'm going to cut this piece. So from there we're going to take, and I'm going to do this independently because it doesn't necessarily support the weight, but this 36-inch piece right here, let me move this up, will go on here like this, and then from there what will happen is a T will go on top of here, like so. And then out from the T will be these. I may keep the different types of metal together. I think it kind of looks cool. And then there will be, I thought I got 2 more 90-degree elbows, half-inch elbows, but I don't see them anywhere. I went and looked in my truck and everything. But we're going to have those 90-degree elbows, and then coming out of those elbows, so then coming out of those elbows, there'll probably be another nipple right here, just a close nipple, and then there will be one light on either side, just like that. And I don't exactly know what kind of lampshade I want to put in there. Like I said, I've still got to figure out how I want to do the power. And I'm really kind of liking the look of the different, you know, the galvanized, the black iron, and the copper / brass all together. I think it's actually kind of cool. So that's where I'm at on this project. Got to get a couple more things to do, or a couple more things to finish putting it together. But I think it'll be really cool when I'm done. Now that I've got the base done, I'm going to get the measurements for the piece of wood, and I'm going to go find a piece of wood that I can use. That way I can go ahead and get it mounted. Probably what I'm going to do to mount the actual crankshaft and flywheel on the piece of wood is down here, right here. I'll take, I don't know, I may take 3 of these. There's 6. So I may take 3 of these holes and just drill them out. And then I will put some type of hardware in there and recess the heads of the bolts or the nuts in the bottom of the board. I think that's most likely how I'm going to do it. So I will got to get a couple more supplies, and I will finish this project up in probably the next video. This will only be a 2-part project. I think it'll look really cool when I'm done. For right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get all the lettering and all the tape off all the fittings and things along those lines. Make it look a little bit more authentic, polish up. I don't know if I want to use this right here. I may go back to a piece of galvanized, but I think I do want to use the brass / copper in the upper part. I just think it looks kind of cool. Maybe leave that exposed and put just little itty bitty lamp shades on the top of each bulb. So I think that's where I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching.